me here. Cool. How about we all start off just lying down? We like doing this, don't we? I like the starting off lying down. You just take your body weight away. Please, if you are cold, just make sure you've got a blanket nearby. And even the light movement that I'm sure we'll be doing later on will be get some warmth going using the breath and the movement of our body. You don't have to move a lot to have some internal heat going on. Just take a moment also just to make sure that you are comfortable with a pillow under your head, so that your neck particularly isn't in tension, maybe some comfort under your knees, particularly if you feel a bit compromised in your lower back. If your shoulders are hurting, you might even put a little cushion maybe underneath your shoulder so it takes a tiny bit of the weight. So welcome everyone, and welcome Tara. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited to have you here and to meet you again. It's been a long time.
Thank you.
And while you're lying there, just maybe start to come a little bit internal, closing down your mind's chatter. Coming into just a bit more of an internal focus. Maybe softening is good for you as a way to get yourself more present. And maybe come to feeling the weight of your body on the floor and the connection that the posterior part of your body has with the floor. The weight yielding, reciprocal energy coming back, our relationship with gravity, our relationship with earth. Our connectedness with earth. Maybe feeling your heels on the floor, maybe calves, maybe buttocks, maybe not lower back, maybe mid-back and upper back, head, parts of your shoulders, arms. And then bringing your attention to the movement of your abdomen. Not particularly creating any force through there, but just feel either the rising and falling of your belly, or maybe not much movement of your belly, but focusing on your belly. Feeling it rising, there's a pause in the breath and an exhale, a recoil. And as you're feeling the rising and falling of your belly, allow that movement to also include the lower ribs. So as your diaphragm contracts, descends, sides of your rib cage come up, a bit like bucket handles. If you're unsure what I mean, we can talk about that later too. So feeling the rising and falling of the belly, feeling the movement that's also initiated, or you feel in your lower ribs as well. And just keep coming back to that movement, no particular other agenda, but just focusing on your belly, lower ribs. And allow that breath to continue to include more of your rib cage. Maybe you include the back of your rib cage, or more of the front or the sides. And again, with no particular agenda about how long I'm breathing in or how long the pause is. Just a gentle exploration of how your body's moving as air is coming in, or as we change the shape of our internal body, allowing air to come in. And now just taking your awareness for a moment to the back part of your rib cage, the part that's in contact with the floor. And pretty much the whole of the back of your rib cage, underneath resides your lungs. You have your lung tissue. So initiate and focus your movement of your breath, the posterior part of your body in contact with the floor. The inhale, and as you inhale, you might feel more pressure into the floor and receiving that reciprocal energy coming back. And maybe think about also the movement of your rib cage and changing the shape to accommodate your air to come in. So focusing on the movement of your rib cage, the inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Just keeping it real simple. If your mind starts chatting, try not to give it too much energy, allowing thoughts just to come and go as they do and will. And now taking your awareness to the lateral sides of your rib cage between your body and your arms. And initiate the movement of your rib cage going laterally, left, right. Feeling that expansion as you breathe out, as you breathe in. And there's just a gentle recoil as you breathe out. And maybe just have your mouth a tiny bit open for your exhale. So you're keeping your jaw just a little bit more relaxed. So the inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And now bring your attention to the front part of your rib cage, the part that we're more intimately related to, I think, or certainly there's a different tone and quality to the front part of your rib cage, thoracic cage, than there is to the sides and back. And feeling that rising as you take an inner breath, a gentle recoil and a softening as air leaves your lungs. And now bringing your attention to the whole of your thoracic cage, the ribs, the bones. And take in your breath as a whole functioning unit, the whole of your rib cage, front, back, sides, up, down. Keeping your breath relatively soft and smooth and You don't have to take in a really large breath. The inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And now just the last thing we'll do with that movement of your rib cage also just includes some engagement lower down in your belly as well, so that your ribs enjoying the movement. Yeah, abdominal area enjoying some movement. And keeping that awareness in your rib cage. Just come to a seated position and maybe think about moving from your rib cage as you come into your seated position, or initiating that movement from the bones, your thoracic cage. And I'll pin Tara so you can take over too now. Can you say something? Do you have your volume? I need to unmute you as well. Okay, I think you're on.
Great. Can everyone hear me? Yes? Great. Okay, so we're going to come into the middle of our mats and make our way down onto our knees. And I'm just going to see if this is okay for everyone to come into a child's pose. So down on our knees, sitting back towards the heels. We're just going to extend the arms forward. And if this is not okay for your knees, please modify. So modify the position so that you don't sit back to your heels, or you can come onto your back. I'll just show a variation. And you can hug the knees into the chest, and you can do the arm movements from here, upside down rather than face down. But if you're okay to join me on your knees, please come down onto your hands and knees, sit back towards your heels, and let's extend the arms forward. Draw the head down towards the earth, and let your forehead come to rest down on the mat, just in front of your knees. And let's create an expansive breath here. So breathing through the nose as you inhale, expanding into the back. And as you exhale, letting the chest soften over the thighs. Creating that expansive breath with each breath in and out. One more long breath in and out here. And extending your arms a little bit further forward, keeping your head down, let's gently walk the elbows up and down. So your arms are straight, and you just micro bend or bend your elbows up and down as if you're walking your elbows on the spot. bringing in a little bit of movement into the shoulders and the arms. Look up towards your fingertips. Come onto the pads of the fingers. And let's walk our fingers over towards the left corner of our mat. A little bit off your mat and extend your fingers forward. From here, let's draw the arms down towards the earth and keep your arms straight if you can, pressing the palms down into the mat. Let the head come in front of your left knee and slowly draw your right elbow down towards the ground. So you're feeling your right elbow and shoulder sink towards the ground. Let's take 3 long breaths here, in and out of the nose. Look up towards your fingers. Come onto the finger pads, and as if your hands are little spiders, walk them across your mat and over towards the right corner of your mat. Come slightly off your mat, so you're on a diagonal, and extend your hands and your fingers forward, still on the finger pads with the arms straight. From here, start to lower your arms, your head and chest down in front of your knee. Keep your arms straight. If that's comfortable for you, make any modifications that you need for your body. Everything should feel good. And then start to drop your left elbow down towards the mat. Let's take 3 long breaths in and out here. Look forward, come back onto the finger pads and walk the fingers over towards the center of your mat. Walk the fingers back towards your knees until you come upright. And now I'll just ask, would anyone have blocks handy? And if you don't have 2 blocks, do you have 2 books that you can use as a prop? If you don't have blocks or books, you can also use a pillow. So let's take your blocks, your books, or your pillow and just pop those through your legs back towards your feet and come to sit. So you're sitting on the blocks or books or pillow and they're right underneath the sit bones. And this just gives us a nice comfortable propped position on the knees without putting pressure on the knees. And once you find this seated position, just let your hands rest on your thighs. Let the sacrum and the lower body sink into the block, but at the same time, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And find a nice posture here with your seat. From here, interlace the fingers down on your thighs. Let's take an inhale as we push the hands forward and all the way up. Exhale, release the arms and twist to your right. So just a gentle twist looking over the right shoulder. Look back to center, take your hands forward, interlace, inhale up. Exhale, release and twist to the left. Look forward, interlace, inhale up. Exhale, twist to the right. Look forward, inhale with those fingers interlaced all the way up. Exhale, release and twist to the left. Look forward, let the arms follow. Inhale again, up. Exhale, twist towards the right, and let's stay here. Your left hand is on your thigh, and maybe your fingertips of the right hand touch the mat or the floor behind you. Let's push into the hand and the fingertips and lift the chest. Take a breath in as you lift the chest, and exhale as you gently look over your shoulder towards the back of the room. Stay here for 3 breaths. And as you exhale, look into the front and let the body follow. Inhale the hands with the fingers interlaced all the way up, last time. And exhale, twist to the left. Your right hand comes onto your thigh, your left fingertips are behind you. Push down into the hands as you inhale and lift the chest up. And exhale and twist and look over your shoulder, being mindful of your neck. If it doesn't feel good to go into that twist, look into the back, you can just look straight ahead. Let's take another 2 breaths here, breathing into the abdomen, nice and expansive breaths. And looking to the front. From here, we'll come forward slowly onto our hands and knees. Let's find a tabletop position on our hands and knees, and you can leave the books or the blocks or the bolster where they are, that's fine. And from here, on your in-breath, let's spread the fingers nice and wide. And on the exhale, straighten the arms and lift the head and chest up and away from your hands. Now let's take a breath in as we bring the chest forward and we look forward. And on your exhale, curl the spine, tuck your chin and look towards your knees. Inhale as you come to look forward, lifting your chest and heart. And exhale, curl the spine, look towards the knees. Inhale with that forward motion, opening the heart space. Exhale as you curl and look towards the knees. Now moving in your own rhythm with your breath for 3 more rounds here. And coming back onto our tabletop position at the center. Looking down at your right hand, let's turn the right fingers to the side. So the right fingers are on the right edge of your mat. And again, just being mindful of your wrist, your body, making any modifications that you need. You can either stay here, or if it feels okay for you, turn your fingers so they actually face back towards your right knee. This is just on the right hand. Now, to make this easier, so coming back a level, you take the hand away from the body. Sorry, take the hand towards the knee. And it gets more difficult when you walk your hand further away from your knee. So just modifying there to your level. And again, let's come into our cow stretch by lifting the heart and chest and looking forward on an inhale. And on the exhale, curl the spine, tucking the chin, look towards the knee. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, curl the spine. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, curl the spine. Come back to your neutral position. And let's peel that right hand off the mat and take it back underneath the shoulder to your tabletop. Now look down at your left hand. Turn your left hand so the fingertips face out to the left, over the left edge of your mat. And perhaps you can turn them around to face your left knee as well. So let's just see how you feel here. It can also be different on one side. And you might take the hand closer to your left knee, or it might be a little bit further away, remembering that the more you move your hand away, the more difficult it becomes. So finding your position there. And let's inhale, lift the heart and look forward. Exhale, curl the spine, look to the knees. Inhale, lifting your heart and chest. Exhale, look to the knees. One more round here. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, curl the spine. Come back to your neutral position and peel the hand off the mat nice and slow. Take it forward, coming back onto your hands and knees. Walk your hands back towards your knees so that you come to sit again on your blocks, your books, or your pillows. Let's take the hands onto the thighs, roll the shoulders up, back, and down, close the eyes, and let's just feel here for a few breaths. Take the gaze down, tucking your chin, and open your eyes softly to the floor, lifting your gaze back up again. Now let's take the right hand forward. Turn your palm so that your fingers are facing down and your palm is facing forward towards the screen. Take your left hand forward and use your whole left hand to take hold of your pinky finger. From here, take a breath in. And on your exhale, just draw your pinky finger back towards your body. Be gentle here, coming in a little bit of starting our self-massage and exploration of the hands. And if it feels good for you, straighten your right arm and push your palm forward as you draw that pinky finger back to the body. And release. Let's move on to the ring finger. So straighten your right arm, push the palm forward and draw the ring finger back towards the body on your exhale. And release. Go into the middle finger now. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, draw the middle finger back towards your body as you push your palm forward. And release. Move on to your pointer finger. Again, push your palm forward and pull that pointer finger back towards the body. Release, and now let's do the thumb. So again, straighten your arm, push the palm forward, take a breath in. And on your exhale, draw the thumb back towards the body. And release. Let your left hand come down and just give your right hand a shake. Let your right hand come down to your thighs. Now, take your left hand forward and draw your fingers down, your palm facing forward. Take your right hand and hold onto your pinky finger. Extend your left arm forward, take a breath in. On your exhale, draw the pinky finger back and just see how this feels for you. It might be different on the other side. Try to push your palm forward as you draw the finger back towards the body. And release. And then take hold of your ring finger on this hand. Push your palm forward, take a breath in. And exhale, draw that finger back towards the body. Release, go to the middle finger. Extend your palm forward, holding your middle finger on the in-breath. And exhale and draw that finger back towards the body. Release, go to your pointer finger. Extend your palm forward, lower your shoulders. And on your exhale, draw that finger back towards the body. Release and move on to the thumb. Take a grip of your thumb, extend your hands forward, take a breath in, and on your exhale, draw the thumb back towards the body. Release your right hand down and shake out your left hand. So one last piece here before I hand you back over to Paul. Now from this seated position, if you're still comfortable staying here, your feet should be, the soles of the feet facing up because we're down on our knees. So I just want you to take your thumbs and start down by your toes. So on the tops of the soles of the feet, down by your toes. Use your body weight to gently rock from side to side here on your seat, pressing your thumbs down into the soles of your feet, giving yourself a really nice, gentle touch. And you can be as firm as you like here, depending on how your feet feel. So this might feel really good to have some firm pressure. You might just like to walk your thumbs gently along the feet. But let's find your rhythm from your center. So you have nice posture and you're just gently rocking your body from side to side as you press your thumbs into the soles of the feet. Incorporate your breath. Walk your thumbs from one side to the other side. And now walk your thumbs up the outer edge of your foot. And back down. And if you find a spot that needs a little bit more work, you can stay there. Keep working on what feels good for you. Now go to the inside edge of your feet. Use your body weight as you press down. So by that, I mean, we're not just using the strength of our arms, we're moving from our center, using a bit of our chi energy, rocking from side to side as we press, and just walking your thumbs up and down the inside edge of your foot. Walk your thumbs up to the heels. And let's press from side to side into the heels. And then take your hands into fists, and with your top two fingers or knuckles, whatever feels better for you, just slide them down your feet from your heels all the way down to the toes. It might feel good just to press. So you might just press your fists into your feet, or you can slide them down. Giving yourself a little bit of self-love and nurture and some loving touch. And releasing, giving your hands a little shake here. And then take your hands and just slide 1, 2, 3 down your thighs. And back over to you, Paul.
Thank you. Should we just stand up and walk around just for a moment? Because I'd like you guys to kneel down a bit too. So just let's just stand up, have a little walk around. But before you start walking, just a moment, just stand still before you walk. And just look at what part of your body leads your walking. So before you walk, just before you step off to walk, see the part that's leading and just kind of, and then just have a little walk around the room, because I'm going to explore some other things with walking probably later on as well. Cool. And then let's come back to kneeling just for a wee while. And either kneeling either on a bolster or a block, if that's more comfortable for you. And if at any time you fancy getting up and just walking around for yourselves, please do that. And just continue in on that tone of self-care and movement. I'm going to start with explorations that many of you have done with me before. I'm just going to add a few different components to it. And we're just going to look at the rotational movement that our spine is able to do. And if you're new to this, just a really brief anatomy focus. That our lumbar spine, the facets are vertical in their orientation, and which means that if I rotate my lumbar, that I can only rotate it about 5%, 5 degrees of movement. And then as I rotate my thoracic spine, they're vertical in their orientation. So there's more rotation available. My thoracic spine, limited by the ribs as well though, and the sternum, and then my neck can rotate freely because it doesn't have the thoracic cage around that, and the facets are also vertical. So the suggested way to do that is just gently placing one hand behind you, but still facing forwards with your torso and head. The other hand on your opposite knee, and just feeling that engagement that is being created as you gently rotate your body, and feel that engagement first lumbar, and then can you then incrementally just slowly rotate, moving up your spine from the bottom to the top, and then your neck, and then return in the reverse order that we created that movement. It doesn't have to be perfect in the increment moving of your spine, but engaging your lumbar, gently feeling that fascia engage, the ligaments, but don't go too deep into the sensation, moving away from the sort of big muscular dominated sensation. So feeling just a gentle ligamental fascia engagement as you rotate. And then swapping the hands over, so your other hand goes behind your back, the other one on your knee, still keeping your torso and your head facing forward. And then just look at that movement to engage your lumbar. And once you feel your lumbar have engaged gently, you feel that sensation, increase that movement going up your spine incrementally if you can, but it's not a big deal if you don't. Nothing's really a big deal. Only if we make it a big deal. Return in reverse order. And just keep gently exploring the rotational movement, the restrictions that are there because of the shape and facet of the joints, but also the restriction there because of the ligaments that are keeping your joints in their orientation that they've been designed. And then coming back just for a moment with your hands on your thighs, feeling sensations, connection floor, buttocks, heels. Maybe your jaw very gently tucked in your chest so that you're not in extension. Gets you slightly more internal too. And place your hand again, but opposite hand behind your back, keeping your torso facing forward. And this time do the rotational movement. See if you can initiate the movement from your rib cage. And how that movement, that focus changes the way that you move. And if you're not sure what that feels like, just allow your own innate wisdom to take over. So we're moving the rib cage, rotating, initiating that movement. Whole of your rib cage as one functioning movement. And then swapping sides again. Opposite hand goes behind your back, other one on your knees, still facing forwards, and now moving and rotating from your rib cage. And just be curious how that feels, what it's like for you. One side of rotation will be different from the other side. We are so asymmetrical. Two lobes, lungs on the left, two lobes on the right, the facets of your joints on either side have different orientations, so rotation will be different. And then just coming back for a moment, again with your hands on your knees, just doing a quick scan through your body, maybe just checking that you're not holding yourself even seated here with some unnecessary physical tension. And then this time again, place your hands, one hand behind your back and on the opposite leg. And this time go deeper into your fabric behind your rib cage. And look at seeing, initiating the movement now from the lung tissue itself. And see what that does to your movement, your awareness, your presence. Beautiful lung tissue. Rotating one way, rotating the other way. And you might find the movement and engagement is very different because your focus is on the tissue of your lungs rather than the skeleton and the rib cage that's protecting our lungs and our heart. And swapping sides over. Again, even while you're swapping sides over, you can be looking at feeling, sensing, being your lung tissue. Maybe think about, or not think about, maybe be your lung tissue. You are your lung. Your lung tissue is you. And don't be so concerned about form, whether you're rotating bottom first, top first. And then coming back for a moment, your hands on your thighs again. And we just do one more movement as well if you're into doing some more exploration here. So your lung tissues and your lung, 3 lobes on the right, 2 on the left, and your heart is here within, has an intimate relationship with your lung tissue. So every time your lung moves, it massages over your heart. So in your exploration now of doing this rotational movement, maybe think about or feel or have an image, whatever works for you, of that relationship that your lung tissue has over your heart. So moving from your lung tissue, massaging your heart as you're moving. This is a physical reality. And again, the exploration, have some freedom with it. So I'm not suggesting you do any particular movement, but this rotational movement, it's got some real nice sort of engagement to it, feeling to it, and swapping sides over. So there's going to be a difference between your right lobe now massaging your heart, your left lobe is massaging your heart differently. So again, this is initiating that movement from your lung tissue itself. And then coming back to hands on your thighs. And just one more little exploration. Did I say one more a minute ago? I think I might have done. This will be the last. Your heart, initiate that movement from your heart. So your heart is now massaging your lungs as you're moving. Beautiful, intimate, caressing relationship that your heart and lungs have. And then again, swapping sides. Heart, initiating the movement from your heart massaging your lungs. And then coming back to your hands on your thighs, just for a moment. And just try and quiet your mind as much as possible. Go really deep internal as you can and just feel and be your lungs and your heart. Keep being soft as much as possible in yourselves. And I'll pass over to Tarah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Paul. So let's now move forward onto our hands and knees again. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see. What do you? So we're on the hands and knees, and from here, let's take our left foot and extend that left leg back. Push into the toes, push the heel back, and then draw your left leg forward by drawing a circle with that left leg. And now your left foot comes forward in line with your hands. Inhale and slowly start to draw the sacrum, draw the buttocks and the hips back. And exhale, gently push forward. From here, we're going to walk our hands over and off the mat onto the right side, just like we did in the beginning with our child's pose extension to the right side. So we're still in our lunge, but now our hands are on the opposite side of our mat. If it's okay for you, walk your hands forward. You can either stay flat on your palms or come onto your finger pads. And press into the hands or the finger pads while you draw your spine. So really lengthen the spine away from the hands. Let your head come down. It's as if we're doing a downward dog from our kneeling lunge. Lengthen your spine, lengthen from your fingertips, lower back, and feel into the leg. Let's draw some nice long breaths in and out through the nose. Lift your head and chest and gently walk your hands back towards your body. And let's take our hands onto either side of our front leg. Come onto your finger pads. Inhale as you draw the knee forward. And exhale, we're just going to walk the hands back towards the body. Keep your left foot flat and work on drawing your hips back to the wall behind you. You can come down onto your palms if that's available to you, or stay on your fingers. And we're just lowering the head and chest down towards the floor for one more breath here. Take your hands forward on the inside of your leg. With your left foot, draw that semicircle around until you come back down onto your hands and your knees. And then from here, we take the right leg back. So extend your right leg back, come onto your toes, and draw the heel back behind you. Draw a circle with your right leg so it comes all the way out the side and comes in line with your hands. So now your foot and your hands are in line here. Start to walk your hands off your mat to the left side and extend your arms forward. Lower your head and chest between your arms and extend your spine all the way back. So you really use the hands to anchor and draw your hips back and away from your hands. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Lifting your hips, walk your hands back into the center and take your hands on either side of your front foot. Inhale as you softly bend your right knee, and then exhale as you start to straighten your right leg. Let your head and chest soften down towards your knee. You can either stay on your finger pads or come down onto your hands. Soften the body here, draw the hips back. We just take one more breath here. Gently bend the knee as you come forward. Plant your hands or your fingers down. And then circle this right foot all the way around and back into your tabletop position. Now from here, just finding a comfortable seat on your mat. And if you have those blocks, or pillows handy, you're always welcome to take a seat on your props if that's more comfortable for you. So finding your comfortable seat, taking your left hand forward and creating a fist with the right hand. We're going to do some light tapping and pummeling of the body. So with that right hand, loosely, so your hand and your wrist is loose in that right hand, start down on your left wrist and start to tap or pummel on the wrist. And again, you can choose how firm or soft you are, depending on your body and how you feel. And let's tap on the underside of the arm all the way up until we go just underneath the shoulder. And then move the tapping onto the top of the arm and work your way down. Just avoid the joint, but work on any part of the arm that feels good until we get down to the wrist. And then go onto the outside of the arm. Again, avoid the joint. So just go over the elbow and work your way all the way up into the shoulder. And then come back onto the inside of the arm, go all the way down again. Tap into your hand and work your way back up on the top of the arm. Now, don't go on the shoulder bone, but go inside your shoulder. Let your left arm relax and pummel inside the shoulder. You can also do the side of the neck. So the inside of the shoulder and the neck. And then move your way onto, it's like Tarzan, into the side of the chest, just on the top of the lungs. And then do a little Tarzan action. And release your hands down. So just relaxing the hands just for a moment here, feeling into the body. Lifting your right hand, create a fist with your left, and let's do the left arm now. So start down on your wrist, work your way up the inside of the arm, pummeling to your level of firmness. So whatever feels good for you this morning. And then come onto the top of the arm. Again, just avoiding the elbow. And then make your way up the outside of the arm, all the way up into the shoulder. Come back onto the inside, work your way down to the wrist. And go back up on the top of the arm. Now work your way into your shoulder, relax your right arm. And pummel the inside of the shoulder and the neck. And then coming just below the collarbone on that right side. And a little bit of Tarzan on both. Now, using both hands, just go down the side, like almost onto the floating ribs. Just gently pummeling down your sides, the side body. And then let's go into the glutes. So just leaning forward, getting the top of the glute. And let's see if you can go into your lower back a little bit here. You can turn your fist around so it's on the knuckle. And then with your knuckles, just slide up and down on your lumbar spine. Around the sacrum, down to the glutes. back into the lumbar spine, around the edges and the center. Now let's take the right leg forward, and just find a comfortable seat with your left leg here. Create your two fists and let's pummel the top of the thigh, the glute, all the way down into the top of the glute. So we're just working into the top of the right leg. And then underneath into the calf on the right leg, on the sides. All the way back up into the top of the right leg. And release. And let's switch legs. So bending your right leg, take your left leg forward, just find a comfortable seat here. And let's pummel into the top of the left leg. And where we have more tissue, so especially in this part of the body, I like to go a little bit firmer. So just feeling into this for yourself, seeing how you feel here. Let's go into the lower leg, into the calf, along the sides and up the back. And back into the top. And coming back into your comfortable seat. So the last one, just let your hands rest on your knees or your thighs and just feeling into the body for a moment. Feeling some of the warmth that you generated with this conscious touch and self-massage for yourself. And then with really soft fingers, let's just tap the center of the forehead. And as if we're spreading our fingers across our forehead, tap from the center all the way down to the ears and back up. So just gentle tapping on the forehead, down towards the ears, down the side of the face and back up. And then take your ears and pinch your ears, give them a squeeze, and then give them a little massage. So massage the lobes of your ears. And then pinch underneath your ears. So pinch the skin underneath your ears. And just work your hands down your chin, pinching the skin. And all the way back up to the ears. Close your eyes. So you're just doing a little semicircle, pinching the skin, giving yourself a little massage of the skin around the chin, all the way up to the ears. Head. And just gently caress down the side of your ears, down your shoulders, and off your knees. So let's do that 3 times. So down the side of your face, down your side body, off your knees. Thank you. Over to you, Paul.
Awesome. Let's lie down on your backs, everyone. Feet in constructive rest, feet flat on the floor. So feet flat on the floor. I need to pin me. Where have I gone? I need to put my glasses on and see what I'm doing. Feet flat on the floor, knees pointing towards the ceiling, constructive rest. What did I do to myself? Cool. And with your feet in constructive rest, just allow both legs to go to the right, but just about an inch or so. And then pause. And then come back to upright. And pause. And then to the other side, just an inch or so. Pause. Come back to upright. And just allow this movement just to continue from left to right. Add in each time you do a movement, just maybe an inch or two each time. So you're really taking your time to kind of caress all the tissues as you're moving. And maybe when your legs go to the side, do that on an out breath if that works for you. Have a pause and allow your legs to go just a little bit more into side bend. And on an inhale, allow that to support your legs to come back to upright. And a pause, the opposite way. So when your legs go to the side, maybe on an out breath, you're feeling some fascia, ligamentous engagement. Pause, inhale, coming back to upright. Pausing. And then allowing that movement to keep increasing until you find one of your legs is either on the floor or as close to the floor as possible. And if you feel that it can't go quite to the floor, you could put a little pillow underneath your leg. So one of your legs is now in a kind of slightly crossed towards the floor, the other one's on top. The leg that's on top, just remove that. And with the heel of your foot, start massaging the sides of your foot. And if you're unsure, I think you can see quite clearly what I'm doing in the video here. And so you're pressing down. So my left leg is on the floor. My right heel is now massaging around the internal edge of my foot. And I'm also now pressing down, massaging my own heel. And then I'm coming up with my massaging the heel, coming up the inside of my bone. So I'm slightly on bone, but also slightly on tissue. So I'm massaging my calf muscles and massaging my bones up to my knee and then coming back down again. This is something that I actually do quite on a regular basis. I've not shared this with you guys over the last 6 weeks. But this would be more of my kind of evening practice when I'm sort of doing my more massagey self-care evening yoga. Coming back down to your foot. I quite like to sort of press into my foot that's on the floor and feel that foot engage into the floor and having that kind of massage from the top and the bottom. And again, coming up that edge of my bone of my lower leg and feeling the muscles. Coming up all the way to my knee, around my knee joint, probably just a little bit lower, coming back down. You can also do some sliding movements as well. And then placing that working foot back on the floor and allow both legs then to rotate to the opposite side. And then with the heel of the other foot, start massaging on that internal edge of your foot, on bone, on tissue, I kind of like that sensation of bone tissue, that edge between them both. Kind of feels like I'm massaging the fascia around the bone itself. I spend a bit of time pressing deeper into my heel, my calcaneus, and then taking that massagey movement going up my lower leg. Again, exploring areas around close to my bone, exploring areas more in the soft tissue, my calf muscles. Supplying some self-massage, self-care, a bit of self-loving. And spend a little bit more time exploring areas that you feel kind of yummy for you to work on. And then come with your feet upright again, or your legs upright, feet flat on the floor, knees pointing to the ceiling. And have your legs slightly more open so that your feet are about the width of your yoga mat. And allow both legs to rotate to the left. On an inhale, bring them up. And allow them to rotate the other side on an exhale. If that rhythm of breath works for you, you can change it around if it doesn't suit you. And just go back and forth from rotating to the left to the right. And if both legs are to the left, doesn't matter which way, then your opposite arm, so both my legs are close or on the floor left, and my opposite arm, I'm going to reach, leading, and thinking about my arm starting from the right part of my thoracic cage. And I reach with my opposite arm and I look. So I'm now looking and reaching to my right. So creating some rotation one way, and there's somewhere in my body that my spine then rotates the other way. As I'm lengthening through the right side of my body now, arm to fingers. And then I gently recoil that arm, legs come back to upright, my head comes back to neutral, and allow both legs now to go to the other way, to the floor, or as close as they can to the floor. You can certainly use a pillow if you need to, so that you can soften. And then reaching with my arm and thinking of my arm starting in the left part of my thoracic cage as I'm reaching all the way to my fingertips and looking towards my fingertips. Creating some more kind of yummy ligamentous and fascia engagement, and then come back to upright again. And just for a moment, giving yourselves a little hug with your knees into your belly. And Tarah, do you have a few more minutes of some sharing you want to do? Maybe 5, 6, 10 minutes. We can go on a little bit, and then I'll finish with a Shavasana at the end. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Okay, great.
How's everyone doing? Thumbs up.
Is everyone doing well?
I reckon.
Yeah. Okay, great. So let's stay down on the back. Let's stay down on the back and keep going. We'll work a little bit more into the hips before we finish. So hug your knees into your chest again, giving yourself a little hug, just like we did. And then take your hands onto your knees and open your knees a little bit wider to the sides. Now, hug your knees towards your armpits. So your feet are relaxed, your lower back, your lumbar spine is down and relaxed as well and soft. Tuck your chin so that your spine is nice and long, and you're just hugging your knees out wide towards your armpits. And then bring your knees together, take your hands on top of your knees, and let's draw a little circle with the knees. So use the hands or the fingers to push your knees in a circular motion, giving your lower back a really nice little massage here. Incorporate your breath into that movement, and let's draw the circle the other way. And now let's take both of the legs up towards the ceiling. Have your feet facing up to the ceiling and hug your knees underneath. So your hands are just underneath the knees, and draw the knees towards the armpits. The elbows go down and your feet are just facing up to the ceiling. So we just start here. And then let's go into our happy baby pose, or our upside down bug, by sliding the hands up the insides of the legs. And you've either got the level of holding onto your ankles, or you can stay holding onto the knees if that's better for you. So either position, or you can come to hold the outside edge of your feet and turn your feet out. So finding your position here. Let's stay here. Let's soften the lower back down. Take a few breaths here at center. And release, hug your knees into your chest. Let's go back into that same position. So start by having your elbows wide, hold behind the knees, and your feet are facing up the ceiling. Slide your hands up to your level, so you can either hold the ankles behind the knees or the outside edge of the feet. And now I just want you to shift all of your body weight just a couple of inches to the right. So it's a very, very small movement to the right side. And then with your grip on your right foot, ankle, or knee, just bear down a little bit more on the right side. We're just over to the right side, very, very slightly. Gently come back to center. And let's move over to the left side now. So we're just moving a few inches to the left. And let's bear down on the left foot, ankle, or knee. It's very slight, so just a small movement and drawing that leg down. We're just over to the left side. Gently coming back to center. Release your grip of the feet, hug the knees into the chest. And as you interlace your fingers around your knees, or you hold onto your knees, just do some rocking from side to side here. It can be a very, very small rock, or you can move your whole body so that you feel your shoulders press from side to side. And come into stillness, holding onto your knees. Over to you, Paul.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So now find yourselves lying down again on your backs. Please make yourself comfortable again, and pillow under your head. Please put a blanket on you or something so that you keep your internal heat. Take another little moment to make sure again that you're comfortable. And feeling the connection that you have with the floor. Quiet mind as much as possible. Quiet as much as possible. And just lying here for a while, appreciating the work that you've done, support your mind, your body, your breath, your spirit. And just allowing yourselves to drift off into that twilight zone between wake and asleep. Certain presence of non-doing. Just keep going deeper into your body, the fabric of your body, leaving your mind's chatter behind. Quiet, present, here. And just for a few more moments, just being in your Shavasana, appreciating or allowing the appreciation of all the work that you've done to really nourish you on all levels, deep in the fabric of your body, all your organs, your bones, skin, your brain. The spirit of you. And while you're maybe just floating in this space or whatever your experience is, just gently find yourselves lying on your sides. Maybe still with your eyes closed. And while you're on your sides, just give yourself a little cuddle. Give yourself some appreciation for all the work that you've done to become who you are. And if you're able to give yourselves a bit of loving, maybe share that loving to people around you, maybe the people here in the Zoom class, Bit of loving for Tarah for coming on and joining us. Thank you so much. And maybe sharing that love that you have, if it's working for you, to people in your lives that have supported you, people in your lives that have challenged you. And maybe we can just put a little vibration out of there for some clarity and some world peace. Clarity and world peace. And then just gently coming to your senses in terms of hearing the sounds, hearing my voice, maybe the music in the background, and the noises closer to you, your house, your room, and feeling